feeling for me, readings between Bridget and Bob. Got to use the Twin Flame Ascension and Soulmate Manifestation deck here for you. It seems like a lot coming through here in this reading. But let me go through the first deck with you. Heal abundance. Time to forgive. So I need to use a guidebook. This is Bob. Or this is Bridget. Both of them having the same type of issue. They're marrying. Either one party needs to forgive or the other parties need to heal abandonments. And that's how you guys are mirroring each other's with these negative energies. Something happened, I'm not too sure who is, that needs to heal the abandonments. It's not too clear. Either you or Bob running away from something in the past, something about the family, something about the childhood growing up in that family. Something abandoned, someone abandoned this particular twin flame. Feeling inadequate, feeling needing the attention because of not having the adequate attention in the past. I don't know if there's a resentment or anger, actually angered toward whoever that is, feel like being abandoned at that time, so it kind of wanting attention. The anger also tied to forgiveness, tied to acceptance, having a hard time accepting the situation in the past. So the other part of the twin flame have a hard time forgiving. Why is that? Am I allowed to elaborate? Victimization, it's one of the biggest issue here. I'm being wounded. I want to get even. I want to get vengeance. So therefore, victimization, holding back on forgiving. That is another major issue here. Without working on this healing on both of you guys, it's gonna hard to move forward to love, hard to move forward to so-called unconditional love. I hope you guys are realizing that you're holding on to these negativities, not when to heal, not when to release that type of negative emotion from your past, wherever that past situation causing this abandonment and forgiveness issue. It's up to you both to do something positive about those negativities, right? Twin flame pairs are here to ignite your own love that come from unconditional love. If you want to use the term universal love, it is the same thing. Universal love already exists beyond the human race existence. If you guys don't understand that, what love is coming from, it is time to learn that. Why procrastinate? Why postponing of learning what is true love is all about? Why twin flame exists in this world? You guys are supposed to lead this world, to learn about unconditional love, how to ignite this infinite light, to show this world you don't have to love in darkness anymore. You don't have to be afraid of your own darkness anymore. When you understand that, you can move from this healing to the next level of love. Isn't that what love is all about, being a human being? Without love, there is no next generation. Without love, the human won't exist. It's only destruction, total destruction in this world. Do you see what's going on around this world? Why there's so much hate, so much fear? so much insecurity? Why do we need to go out and hurt each other's? Because of lack of unconditional love, lack of universal love. Twin flame pair like you guys are here to ignite this, to show the world that, yeah, despite all this inheritance, despite all this darkness, there is hope. There is a silver lining in the darkness to ignite this love. So I hope that you both are listening to this reading to understand the higher purpose of why you guys need to learn to heal, whether together or individually. Your spiritual guidance want me to say separately, okay? So acknowledge, take responsibility. You need to acknowledge you both are having a soul contract before your reincarnation in this lifetime. So you need to understand that, sure, you guys won. One of them you guys are running. One of them you guys are chasing. When you both are doing that, doesn't matter which party you're doing it. It's going to pull away. It's going to separate. Because you guys don't understanding the energy you're engaging in each other's. You're not focusing on yourself, you're focusing on the other party. That's what causing it to pull apart. Every time you guys comes together to try to reconcile, try to mend. I think I did a reading like that for you last time, not long ago, about mending. It's part of the reconciliation. You guys are not willing to mend the past. You're so focused on the other party to try to fix that. It's not going to work because you're codependent on the other party to fix your own problems. You got to understand, fix your own problem first. And like everything falls into place naturally. But you guys are doing it in an artificial way. Relying on somebody else to heal you is not going to work. Are you aware you're actually engaging in that type of energy? That kind of intention? Be aware of it, how you're doing it. Well, it'd be great Bob here listen to his reading as well. This is not just about how he feels about you. You guys have to understand the higher purpose. In the future, I'm suggesting you get a twin flame energy reading to help you both to understand, to navigate this complexity. Emotions are complicated, but relationship shouldn't be that complicated. So take your own responsibility. You have to acknowledge you have your own problem, that you have to take your own responsibility in order to take the path, the healing path. You're not going to do that. You guys keep coming back together. It's going to fall apart again because of the codependency is way too strong. Heal your own self first, okay? Whatever destiny have in store for you in the future, let that come to you in a divine timing. Whenever that timing call for a reconciliation, So I hope that makes sense. Okay, let me pull this card up here to show you clearing karma. Kundalini activation. Do I need to go Bible on this? It's about clearing the karma. Karma from past life. It's not only from this lifetime life situations. Worth a life event trigger or inflict pain, inflict fear, inflict worry, whatever that negative feelings are because created by life situation. You guys are attaching to those negative feeling, unpleasant situation that create karma. They need to be clear. I'm not only talking about this lifetime. I feel like there are past lives as well between you two that got carried forward in this lifetime. Somehow life situation replaying those similar situation in the past life. They are extra intense, the feelings of that. Whether you guys are aware or not, okay? But you feel intense feeling and they're very familiar to you. And that's what's going on, past life in effect in this lifetime. that needs healing. So the first card here, that's a major one here, holding you guys back from moving forward. Honor your agreement, mission, emotions. Like I said, you both have soul contract from divine. You want to court heaven? Yeah, it's court heaven, okay? I don't know anything about your religious belief, but you don't have one, that's fine, spiritual, there is spiritual realm that exists outside this earth, this physical earth form. So it's that honor your agreement. You both know your own spirit guides. You guys, I cannot say enough, just because you both reincarnated in this lifetime, it doesn't mean that you guys don't know before the reincarnations. Mission, emotion, higher purposes. I already talked about it earlier. So honor this agreement. Show that the compassion, show that there's forgiveness, show that there's unconditional love. Know that there's infinite light source at your soul blueprints. Don't forget that. It's in there. Doesn't matter what kind of darkness you both are experiencing in this lifetime. The light is within you. You both have these innate abilities. Exercise your own free will. Exercise the discernment to know that what is the difference between dark and light. And you both have it in you. You just have to trust the process, including this coming together, separating as well. Doesn't matter how many times that's happening. Trust this process. Know that you have to work on your past wounds. It is not avoidable. And it's inevitable, and you both know it when you both are engaging in the same old pattern over and over again. It's just the life cycles, right? All this life cycle, how would you know you still have this darkness in you? And how will Bob know that he still have that darkness in him, right? And moving on to soul manifestation here. Destiny. Trust that the universe will guide you toward each other. Weaving a tapestry of chance meeting and shared experience that will lead you both to your destined connection. And that's exactly what I just talked about. Okay, I'm just jumping ahead about destiny. You both are destined in this lifetime. It's inseparable at the spiritual level. Doesn't matter you're physically separated, but at the spiritual level, there is a strong bonding. There's a strong chemistry, because twin flame pair, you both have the highest frequency match. There is no third party can be compared. You both, whatever you both are having, okay, is worth cherishing every moment of that. It doesn't matter how you both feel about that life events, okay? But I'm asking you both, right? Be wise to see it from a positive, at a beautiful space. Don't try to judge. Don't try to put in negative emotion. Don't use past experiences as an excuse, to judge now and the future. If you have time to learn to break that cycle, look at that. Twin flame pairs is wonderful. It's beautiful. Without you guys, how are you going to show the world there is unconditional love? That is the purest form and the truest form of love that exists in human being. So I hope you guys, you can call yourself the light workers for this world. Be aware of that, It's a beautiful thing to have this infinite light source. And your divine is here to support you. And the community is supporting you guys as well, serving your catalyst. And you guys serve each other as catalysts as well. So embrace every opportunity to heal your own self. Toxic. Would you want to expose your perfect soulmate to the person that you are today? Are you the person that I deserve to be with? Okay, that's about toxic energy. It's talk about negativities. The darkness you guys both have that still need healing. Every time you bring this emotional baggages into this relationship, it's gonna crash, because who wants to incite darkness in each other? Like fear, like worry. Do you want that out of your relationship with someone just to have worry and fear? Wouldn't you want to have love to replace those negative feelings? Anybody will say yes, want that kind of replacement, but this is not a substitute, right? Be aware that no negative emotions are permanent. It's up to your own determination, courage, and free will to learn to release those negative emotions whenever you guys are being triggered by them, That's how you reduce those toxic levels. You don't need to hold on to that, but it's when you're being triggered by them because your soul level, either your subconscious level, your conscious level, or even your egoistic level are trying to hold on to those, influences, so-called attachment, because you believe that you have those negative emotions. So therefore you keep practicing them over and over again and not realizing, oh, they are abnormals. They're not like your everyday life that you should have. If you realize that, then you can learn to release them through forgiveness, through unconditional love, through true compassion. Okay? Victim, I can't save you or fix all of your problems for you. So this is another affirmation for you guys about those negativity that you both still need to work on. So here, do not victimize yourself because your past experience that who do not experience unpleasantness in such a dark world. This is so-called the 3D matrix, trapped in all by human creation, for human false belief, human inheritance from their ancestor to pass on the darkness into this generation, past generation, future generations, to normalize, behavior, negative emotions, belief system, culture, education, you name them all. We're all trapped in that until you want to awake your own spirit self to say, hey, we're beyond that. Why do we still need to believe what everybody else are practicing around the world? You can name them all, what they are, how they control human being, how they manipulate them, how they trap them into those beliefs to separate human being into so many different categories, like culture, like color, like financial status, different class, different ways, different education level, and so forth, to divide us, not to see us like a one human being, one human race. And I hope you understand that, Bridget, and hopefully Bob will listen to this as well. Aware, I'm working hard on becoming the best version of myself. I'm ready for a healthy relationship with my soulmate. Let's squash that soulmate into twin flame, okay? Just limitation of this card message here. Who is aware? Is this from Bob to Bridget? That's the feeling from Bob, okay? And your spirit guides want you to take that message for yourself as well. It's not just from him, and you should be working on yourself as well to become a better version of you as well. Okay, it does go both ways. I feel like you both are marrying each other about similar things that you both need to work on releasing. Effortless. The universe supports your union. Your love will happen effortlessly. Know that, yeah, your spirit guide, both your spirit guides are there with you no matter where you are, no matter what happened to you both. Be aware of that. You guys are spiritual being above being the physical being. You have to integrate all aspects of your life, body, mind, heart, and soul, to live this lifetime, to explore this lifetime, whether you're separately or togetherly, and be aware of that. Let go of the fear, let go of those doubt. Trust this universe is at work, wherever that is, in the community, to support you guys to do this so essential, so-called healing, soul ascension, to reclaim your soul vital energy that you so need to ignite this infinite light source, so-called unconditional love. Ego, will your ego allow space for us to have an ego partnership? Okay, egoistic self, where is that coming from? External focus on the outside, never focus on your inside. That's what this ego is. Where is that coming from? Human creation, artificial things, to stay away from nature, the true form of human being, the love being, the light being. That's what this ego is, to focus on the physical perspective of life only and forget that you have the heart, soul, and mind, that needs to be integrated in your everyday life. The vessel, the body, it's just another lifetime. Why not just incorporate your soul into this living? You both already experience a full lifetime together. Make it the best you can be together in this lifetime as well. Fix all those karma in the past and this lifetime, so you can live in this unconditional love, in this spiritual perspective of life. So let go that egos. You both can identify what is egoistic self. It has become too selfish, not drawing healthy boundary. That's come from ego. You're living in fear-based living. That is coming from ego. Why? Because you're taking your vessel, your body as priority. How is this harming this body? But no one ever asks, how is this harming your own soul with those negative feelings? Do you see how it's working against your soul every time you think that, oh, my body is being harmed? It could come from in so many forms, right? So it is something for you both to reflect on. Priority. Even though your heart long for me, you realistically don't have time in your life for me right now. Priority. You guys need to understand what are your priority. Your souls, your hearts are at priorities. If you only think, you only engage in your physical form of life, then you guys are missing out a lot of what it is about soul healing, why you need soul ascension, why you need to focus on yourself first. So this is a message for you both. You need to reassess what are your priorities. Life should be beyond just having a job. Life should be beyond about paying bills. Life should be beyond about securing your retirement, securing your future. Life should be beyond just having a roof on top of your head. Those are just fundamental basics that every single human being on earth are doing. So why are you taking that as so much concern, so much priority above your soul and your heart health? So this is something that you both need to reassess, whether your intentions are serving your greatest good or not. I'm talking about you, both of you, okay? So therefore, you both don't really have time for anybody else but your own self right now. And it's critical for your remaining time in this lifetime. I'm worthy. How love will be the greatest love you have ever known. Do you have doubt about your worthiness to receive this love? Unworthiness, it could be lack of self-love, could be lack of self-esteem, could be lack of confidence. Like you guys are being emotionally reactive toward your relationship together. Why is this separation? Why is this triggering you guys? Why does it feel like worth of that recent conversation causing you guys doubt? Because you both haven't like your own self-love, unconditional love. You have to become the love. You haven't become the love. How do you know what kind of love to give to the other party? Think about that. If you don't even understand love, you can't even talk about romantic love. You can't even give love to show love. What is love? You're only speaking the language of fear, not the language of love. So take care of your own priority first, okay? Don't victimize yourself. Let your ego go. Trust that the universe is on your side. The community is supporting you guys just to learn about that, to get rid of those toxic emotion that you both are still having lingering. The more inter-awareness you both are having, the better that you will understand what kind of inner work that you both need. Okay, self-love is critical. Without that, it's hard for you both to understand how to become the love. Is there any more I need to do for Bridget and Bob here? In the future, your spiritual guardian wants you to get a twin flame energy reading instead of feeling for me. You will get a lot more out of that. It seems like this is the twin flame reading incorporated in this feeling for me readings, okay? To give you more in-depth insight about what's going on between you and Bob. And may you find light from your spiritual guardians. This journal reading is for Janie. I'm going to use Twin Flame Ascension deck for you. First one, acknowledgement, take responsibility. This is the, do I go divine? Divine order, participation, and I also have awareness and crystal clear vision here. Do you need me to go to the guidebook? Acknowledge. What does she need to acknowledge? She's on twin flame journey, Jenny. That's what I'm getting from your spirit guide here. And you need to acknowledge that. Perhaps you might have some sort of awareness that you're on a special path through relationship, wherever that you have experiencing so far. This is about self-responsibility. This is not so much about taking responsibility of somebody else. You need to take your own self-responsibility of how you are trapped in your own negativities. Or another terminology is darkness, okay? You don't need to practice darkness enough, but you need to realize how you're doing that. So that way you can take the initiative to heal your own self, to release those negativity that don't serve your greatest good. Being a human being is always about love. Without love, what's what make human beings, right? So love is the most important thing in your life, and that's all really matter. Another facing is, love heals everything, and that's true. But you need to understand that we don't need darkness enough to heal. What you need is the purest form of love to heal your darkness. So I hope that you get the message here. Divine order, participation. Everything is in divine timing for you. So you cannot anticipate, jump your timeline, but you have to exercise your own free will, courage, determination, and so forth, okay? To choose that light path. That light path is about discerning the difference between your dark and light. Which side do you rather be on? So any more about that? Participation, practice the light, practice the unconditional love language, not the fear-based language. If fear gets to you, let forgiveness in your heart. Let compassion in your heart. Let unconditional love in your heart. How do you even let unconditional love in your heart? It should identify how you conditioning your life. Are you codependent on something on the outside of you to live your life? Are you codependent on someone's attention in order to feel love, in order to feel good? That's called conditioning. That's not unconditional love. You like giving up your self-love for the sake of this external thing that you're after for, to just to feel good. That is not really unconditional love. I'm just giving you some real life example here to help you where you can apply the difference between conditioning versus unconditioning. So practice that, and release what's not serving your greatest good. Trust your gut's feeling to guide you in that. And then the awareness, the more inner awareness that you have, the better you understand yourself. If you don't understand yourself, then what is there for you to do? It's hard for you to acknowledge that darkness. It's hard for you to practice wherever you need to practice the light. The more you understand the unknown side of you, the better you will see with clarity, because emotions tend to influence you. Emotion blind you to understand why you think this way, why you behave this way, why do you make decision this way, what is the motivation behind of all of that, for you to desire certain thing in life. Are those things serving your greatest good? Are those things offended to your soul? And that's something you need to answer for yourself, right? But first of all, you need to be aware how emotions are the culprit of all of those motivations behind that. The more you can discern the difference between positive emotions versus the negative emotions, the better you understand which one are not serving your greatest good, how they could cause you to go downhill instead of the uphill, right? You want to climbing the uphill, not the downhill versions, to cause you more chaos, turmoils, unhappiness, and so forth. Any more that I need to do for Jenny here? Got it, Anna, here for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. The journal reading for Chanel. About to use the elemental oracle here for you. I am getting the Soul Adventure and then the connection by Omi. Let me see if there's a specific message for you in the guidebook. Soul Adventure. Do something you haven't done before so that you can explore something new to help you expand your thoughts, expand your perception, so that way you can have a different perspective. And it wants you to dive deeper to your heart to feel as well. Feeling, it's important. If you only think but don't feel, then you're missing out a lot, especially your emotional aspect of life. In that progress, you have to be careful of how you're feeling, your own feelings, because you tend to judge that feeling, what that is. Let me go to the next card here, 44. The whole is greater than the sum of its part. And you are a part of this world. Everything are connected. It's like the ecosystem. Cannot do without the other. It's like trees, plants that needed it for the human to breathe. So you can see why everything is so connected. You cannot do without the other. So I think it wants you to find that connections. It wants you to cherish that connections. So you can be part of this existence. So how much are you aware of distancing from these connections? Perhaps because of your ego. Perhaps you have gratifications that taking priorities over this type of connections. It's hard to be whole when you take those things as priorities and forget what that natural connection feels like. Without those natural connections, you don't keep distancing yourself away from the nature, and you're moving toward the direction of the artificial things to make you disconnect with the truth of the matters, of many matters. So next time, try to see how you are disconnect with the natural things in your life. So that way you're not going against the natural flow of the energy as well. Everything around you has energy. Are you aware of that? Have you tapped into that sensation to connect to that energy? Even the wind blowing at you contains energy. Are you aware your soul is full of energy as well? This actually is made up of energy. The more you're in touch with that nature, the more you can sense your own energy too. And this is the end of the reading. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. 3-moon introspection reading for Blondie from the Crystal Wisdom Calling Oracles. Let me see. Bumblebee Jasper, number 6. It's this passage saying that you are a divine being, that you want to call yourself a light being or even a spiritual worker. They all have the same meaning, with immense inner riches holding the bright, energizing light of the sun. You were born to carry out a specific task. Charismatic, you naturally attract people. You have inner strength and courageously go where others do not dare. Harvest your resources and put them to work to heal yourself. But the Bible said disease, but I'm just going to say heal yourself, okay? Is there anything else that she needs to know? But you need to introspect this special innate ability inside of you at your soul levels. You always have this light in you. It's just a matter of recognizing your darkness and how you're going to release it in order to grow this light, to grow back this light. Let me put it this way, because you weren't born. I'm not talking about your physical birth. I'm talking about your spiritual birth. Since the inceptions, it's always had this light. It just the physical life form experience caused you to attach to darkness. And I'm not going to say any further of this, but I want you to introspect about your innate ability. And this is the, it does have additional avoid arrogance. Is there anything else? Like knowing too much, know it all, and you think you know everything, or you think that, oh, you understand your ability, like, oh, I pick up this intuitive information, or I pick up this spiritual sign, so therefore I know what it means. But sometimes you do misinterpret them, and that's the culprit of you it's just another word of saying avoid arrogance. I hope that you understand your spiritual guardian intention here. I'm going to end here. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Same energy reading for Phyllis. I'm just only got to use one card for this reading. Master Alchemist, Violet Femme Activation. But let me go to the guidebook and see how it wants to go with you on this. Sometime Guardian does not tell me everything up front, so I have to go figure it out joining the readings. So bear with me while I find this page here. Master Alchemist. $92. Violet Flame is just a tool. You can look up Violet Flames anywhere on YouTube, on the internet. It's a purple, violet, of course, violet colors. So it's a healing energy, but it's a type of tool people been using it to try to activate this through their own portal to connect with this violet flame so they can feel healed. But is it really an ascension tool? I think it's a temporary thing. You cannot just rely on this tool to heal yourself. And I think that's the first message here about this twin flame energy in this reading. But it's a tool to assist you. So I don't think it's a gift. Somebody tried to tell me it's a gift, but it's not a gift. I don't like the interpretation of this guidebook. It's too misleading. Sometimes the author writes up based on the false belief, not telling the truth about what's going on. People are trapped in the 3D matrix a lot in this society created by the human ideas, humans' belief. But that's not the truth about the matter. You know, belief, ideas are not the truth, okay? So obviously, they don't go hand in hand. They don't mean the same thing. So let me keep diving into the other paragraph. So still try to understand the intention of your spirit guide. Why only give me one card to read you? It's not easy just to do one card reading. I have to do a lot of channeling. Your heart does matter a lot. It speaks about your feelings. You know, you have 4 aspects of your life: body, mind, heart, and soul. How are you growing? How are you transforming yourself? How are you healing? But do you understand what you need to heal, what you need to grow, and how do you going to transform yourself? That is they are the most critical thing. If you don't have insight about that, and you're going to stuck in the path of violet flame, using as a tool, you're going to end up using tools based on what you seek, based on information from other people, and they are stuck. A lot of them are stuck, unable to heal themselves. They think that they can seek outside and rely on those tools. I'm going to use the term tools. Even meditation is a tool. Exercise is a tool. Going to a nature walk is a tool. Do you getting the pattern here, Phyllis? Everything are sick on the outside. They don't sick on their own inside of them to rely on themselves. They rely on the external world, wherever humans have created, wherever they have written, wherever they have provided those external resources. Those other tools cannot be relied on. They are temporary things to shift your focus. They are temporary things to help you activate something. Why do you need those temporary stuff? Because your ego gets in the way. You have your egoistic self, you have your conscious self, you have your subconscious self, and also your soul have been suppressed at a subconscious level. I hope you understand why technically humans shouldn't even have an egoistic self. But unfortunately, all those external influences cause you to create this ego self and cause you not to get in touch with your soul. So therefore, the consciousness is between your soul and your egos. And I hope that you see, yeah, it's confusing, right? But the more you dive into healing, the more you will better understand yourself. This is not something that anybody talk about on this world, okay? I'm just happen to be a ascended master, and spiritualism is my expertise in this. So, and I've been through this myself, through my own self-healing as well. But I want you to understand growth is cannot be rely on the external stuff to grow yourself, to transform yourself, to heal yourself. Let me move on to the last paragraph on this guidebook. You can change your own reality. Why some people seeing different reality. Person A might see something different than person B, even though they are both looking at the same thing, but they don't interpret the same thing. Do you see how their consciousness, even their egos, even the subconscious self can influence the way how they interpret the same reality to be something different? So this is try to point out to you, Phyllis, you have the power to change that reality, but doesn't mean it's the true about the reality. So this is something Guardian said it's a culprit, it's a major problem. It's a hurdle to have proper growth, proper transformation, and proper healing. So therefore, it want me to emphasize about the tool. It's a temporary thing, not to rely on that. You can only rely on yourself. You gotta have faith in the universe to support you. Even the community is supporting you, but you might not totally realize how they are doing that. But you gotta trust your deeper, higher self. And I'm not sure it's not allowing me to read about intuition here. So she has strong intuition, but even though you're misinterpreting your intuitions because of all those ego, conscious, subconscious, all of that influencing you to misinterpret your intuitive ability, what is that you are picking it up. But that's okay. Don't think negative about that. But can you go deeper into this inner awareness? The more you practice, the better you get. I mean, it's okay. And your guardian said, try to use collective readings to see which one is your. Practice that using your intuitions. And I feel like you can communicate with your spirit guide to give you some sign. Hey, am I getting it right? Did I pick the right collective readings? Sometimes within a court readings, they have different group readings, right? And help you to pick, hey, which group is yours. Maybe none of them is yours as well, and try it and see, hey, can you give me a sign? Did I pick the right one? Am I resonating with that particular group within that collective readings? So to help you. Yeah, there are plenty of twin flame collective reading out there, and I'm sure you will find them as well. But I don't particularly focus on twin flame. I'm just so much board based, So with my collective readings, is about self mastery. Knowing the more you know yourself, the better you're gonna get at self mastery. Understand your energy, understand your emotion. They have connections. Emotion can be very complicated. Even the basic word fear It is a negative emotion. I hope you realize. Fear can trigger hurry. Fear can trigger worry. Fear can trigger anxiety. Fear can trigger nightmare. It want me to specifically say nightmare. Perhaps you have nightmare. Maybe you realize it. Maybe you don't. It's depend how it goes through your conscious self to your ego self. If that's if that's coming through you, whether you have any memory out of those nightmares. So it could be come from the subconscious side of you as well. If it's subconscious, then you might not wake up to remember that. It is so into your consciousness, then when you wake up from that nightmare, you might remember some of that as well. So it is curable. All of those negative emotions are not permanent. Your guardians want to tell you, do not label your negative emotion like an illness, the way how the human society try to tell you. I mean, you might go to doctor or psychiatrist, or they try to label you, oh, this is just a disease, you just have to cope with that. Your guardian tell you this is just a tool, right? That's how humans create tools to try to label something, because they don't understand the spiritual side. They don't understand the soul, because soul has no substance. They couldn't measure it. They couldn't see it. They couldn't touch it. It's because there's nothing to look into, to scientifically, test it, a soul, so people come to us for this type of thing. So I hope you realize, whatever you're doing, don't try to label yourself with a disease. Otherwise, you're gonna stuck in this influence in your on top of your head. Oh, I'm sick. I always have this. I just have to learn to cope with it. But then you not realize you can actually heal. You can permanently release that anxiety. It's not a permanent thing, Phyllis. But anxiety is just the surface level. Anxiety has been built up for so long, for decades for you. Your guardian is saying that you're not realizing, because you've been running away from quite a lot of negative emotions. So you ignore that, dismiss them, you've moved on, or you defer into some other good activity to make you feel good. So therefore, you choose to ignore those negative emotions that have been built up for so long from all over those past situations that you find unpleasant. And I'm pretty sure you go back and reflect on them, you will realize, oh, once upon a time, I hate this person. Once upon a time, I'm afraid of these things. Once upon a time, I'm worried about my finance situation. Once upon a time, I'm triggered by you're being triggered by fear because of pregnancy. It's coming through me on for some reason the word pregnancy. I don't know, you were being pregnant, or you worry about somebody else being pregnant. So I hope you see, once upon a time, things did happen to you, and they trigger. They're not just creating, but they are intensifying. They are reinforcing your negative emotion that you never deal with them in the past. So therefore, they keep building up into anxiety. So there's so much for you to go back and reflect on. But remember, master alchemists, you can do something about them. How are you going to do that? You understand you can heal. You understand you're out of false belief now. No negative emotion are permanent. It's about exercising your determination, courage. I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Courage. And I just say determination, and then free will. You gotta free yourself from all this limitation. You gotta free yourself from all those human influences on you. culture, family background, education, day-to-day interaction, trends. Trends could be so many things, right? Not just about fashion, image, about idea. The quality of life can also influence you. What is considered quality of life? Oh, well, maybe this is considered a little luxury for you, that you need to have those things. So it's considered quality of life, but you never thought about, hey, I can go down to the way, way basic stuff, not the way how human create quality of life for you to compare. Comparison is another culprit of how you get stuck in influences. The more you compare, the more you're stuck in human influences that should trap you, unable to understand the deeper side of you, right? It tend to hide all the problems, your inner problems. So it's just a matter of bringing that out. What are you willing to do to stay away from those influences? What can you do to release them? What can you do to increase your inner awareness? Through emotional trigger, like events do trigger you. I already talk about how you should go back to your past, but now in the future, when you're having those trigger, stop for a moment and to feel what they are. How are they related to your past situation as well? Because, fear doesn't just come. Fear can be so many things while you're afraid. So the more you take advantage of that opportunity, the better you can do to release those specific negative emotion that you're having. That is just a beginning of healing. And it takes time to do those self transformation. Don't expect, oh, I understand it now, I can release it now, and then later on, months down the road, why am I still having these negative emotions? And then you start having doubts, and you start having fear again. Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it all this time? And then you're going to start questioning yourself, all of that. Phyllis, why I'm telling you, why my your guardian trying to tell you this? Because it already know you. It knows you from the inside out. It knows you have a single lifetime. It knows you since the day your soul was born. And it understand you. So it tried to tell you that, yeah, don't expect how long it takes for you to release one specific negative emotion. It takes a little self effort every day to build that up, to accumulate until you can release totally, completely, right? I don't know. I cannot tell you how long it takes. It certainly took me 3 decades to heal my depressions. I'm just giving you my personal experience. So if you're gonna stop putting timeline, you stop putting goal, is you stop putting like, oh, expectation, that's where you're gonna create more. That's how you enforce your negative mindset. Okay, just be aware of it. I know it's huge thing to tell you, because the point of view your spiritual guardian say, yeah, you can trap yourself with negative mindset and not realizing it, but I just gave you excellent example how you could do that. Is there any more that about this twin flame energy reading you want me to tell her? Yes, you're on a twin flame journey. You are a divine feminine. It just means that you're more spiritually inclined, but does not mean that you're not having physical perspective of life either. Okay, just be mindful of that. Am I allowed to say any further about the other counterpart? Not yet. This is not the right divine timing. Your spiritual guardians warn you to focus on yourself for whatever reason. There's a higher purpose on that. So this is the annual reading. May you find light from your spiritual guardians, and you're very welcome. Energy Oracle journal reading for Melissa. For some reason, man holding a coin. When I say journal, it could be so specific, and it's up to your spiritual guardians. People just don't realize journal, meaning your spiritual guardian get to choose what kind of topic to read for you, okay, with a high intention. But men holding a coin, something to do with finance concern or materialism. It used the term money in this guidebook, but perhaps it's materialism in a much more broader sense. Could be money, could be things. Car, for example, house, for examples, like a job, for example, could classify as materialism, okay? I think this is your way of valuing in men quality, perhaps. I think you value that who you choose to associate with in regarding to romantic relationship. Like they seem to be a priority, or maybe another term, they are significant to you. When a man have materialism and you value that into that relationship, I'm not sure to what levels. Perhaps there's something else that you value as well. But however, this materialism attract you to men. Perhaps you're using that as an advancement to elevate yourself because you feel secure. You have certain level of insecurity that cause you to value certain thing like this. But that's great if that is a true love. But what if you're encountering men in that kind of relationship that's not coming out of love? That could become a karmic issue. Is there anything else that it needs to talk about here? Still want me to talk about money? Liability? Liable? What's that mean? Liable of what? It become a liability for her, for Melissa, because she looks at monies at priority. Is it from men or no? Not in that regard. Then why am I getting a card man holding a coin unless you're manifesting this, Melissa? Are you manifesting this reading for your own self? When you're not focused on your breathing and you start thinking about feeling, desire, feeling for men, that's why reading might not be accurate when you stop manifesting your own reading through feelings. I was like, try to talk to your spiritual guardian. You know, that's why I tell people to focus on the breathing, don't think, and don't, all of that when you're engaging in that kind of energy. Okay, don't do that, Melissa. That's not how it works. A lot of tarot readers tell you to manifest, but here you don't manifest. You do manifest, it creates negative energy. A lot of psychic readers out there don't realize how much negative energy they're adding on to the reading. to cause people to trap into life situation, life cycle, and cause them not to able to heal to have true abundance. They trap into negative abundance. Okay, this is not a good reading. Is there a specific message for her? Manifestation. Your spiritual guardians want me to talk about manifestation. Yeah, you're not realizing, even though you focus on breathing, your feelings not gonna lie when you start manifesting something, and without realizing you, because you're not realizing your own feeling, your own desire about something, to create your own readings. Okay, your guardian right now want me to shift the intention to talk about manifestation. Desires is quite tricky because you think you want this, but you don't understand the motivator behind the desire you're having. And it's often come from your emotions, of course, but then your emotion is just incorporate negative emotions. People don't see what are the negative emotions. It's not as simple as fear, worry, hurry, in that nature. Sometimes you're under influence. Sometimes you're under some sort of family value, certain standard, certain boundary that caused by past experiences that trigger you to decide this and that. And you not realize how your past have such a significant impact on you to make you who you are as of today. And there's quite a bit of negativity involved in that to cause you to not truly understand what is love. Love is a general terminology I'm using here. I'm not talking about romantic love. Love in general. I'm talking about universal love. I'm talking about unconditional love here, that you probably do not understand how you have conditioning your life. You're conditioning your life, so therefore your desires have a lot of those conditioning. But I think you should able to identify at least a few, if not all of them, in this lifetime. Is there any more I need to say about this? You still want me to talk about coins? It was Melissa's the one to manifesting it. I cannot do that. It is with your desire about coins, okay? It's your desire about finances. I have nothing to do with the reading from your spiritual guardians. I'm going in here. May you find light from your spiritual guardian in this. From the Healing Heart Oracle, journal reading for Andre. And I got this hurt heart. I see you. We told you the guide, but with the specific message for you here. Rejection. This wound come from neglect, rejections, the lack of attention from you and from some specific individuals. This is only one specific individuals, a few specific individual in your life that cause you pain deep inside of your heart. This pain cuts and left a very deep scar on you. This pain or this hurt trigger you sometime. Even recently, your guardian said. But you don't want to be vulnerable because you're triggered by this vulnerability. So therefore, you kind of withdraw from that feeling. Perhaps you're creating your own protective barrier. So that way you don't have to take down your own wall to see the truth, what's happening inside of you, that deeper feeling that you have. Why let it go cold when you have the opportunity to pull that pain out of you, to work with that so you can start healing? Rejections. You want me to talk about rejections? Perhaps you've been rejected by love. You want me to say romantic relationship, perhaps? In another incident, neglect. What is it? From whom? He neglect himself? And you neglect yourself, it's another situation. Not loving yourself by attaching to all those painful past, all those rejection that you had in the past, and you're still not willing to let go the attention, not getting the attention from other people's, instead allowing them to continue to influence you, to allow you to start in that codependency of love from other people. This neglect is about self-neglect, where you still not willing to love yourself in a proper way without so-called the codependent attention from someone else. And it is a very cool, CLOUEL, cool way of living your life this way, Andre. And I feel like your guardians want you to awake yourself if you desire to heal, and you can. It is not impossible to heal yourself, but you need to change your mindset not to victimize yourself anymore about your past. Why not be happy? Why not love yourself first? Why not release this pain that you still inflicted on you through your mindset, through your behavior, through the language that you speak from? Is still coming from this, past situation that you are not willing to do anything about that. Don't let them dormant in you anymore. You need to awake them, pull them out to the surface so you can really work on each one of them. Healing takes time. It takes many cycles. You go through life cycle in this lifetime, but you also have little cycle within your life cycle as well. If you're feeling lonely, and if you're feeling empty, that is a sign. That is your negative feeling, and they're tied back to your past situations. Don't dismiss that feeling. Go back to that, whatever that past situations, whatever that bitterness. Perhaps you need to learn to forgive. Perhaps you need to have more compassion. Perhaps you need to stop comparing. Comparison is a very strong culprit to prevent you from getting out of that victimizations, to get you out of that anger, to get you out of that fear. So I hope you can stop comparing. Can you see yourself? Can you see your truth? This hurt does not need to linger. Is there any more I need to tell? Be kind to yourself. Be more compassionate to yourself and other people as well. May you nourish with unconditional love. May you caress yourself with kindness, with happiness, with self-confidence, with self-esteem, and so forth. May you learn to forgive others as well as yourself too. Another thing to take from this reading is to look at the way how you value life. Perhaps those values are too old. They don't serve your greatest good anymore. And I'm sensing your family background has a lot of impact on you on that. Do you want to hold on to those family that create those unfavorable values that trap into the way how you live your life? Or is it time to look at each one of them and see what you need to do to let them go? I'm glad you end here. May you find life from your spiritual guardian. Twin Flame energy reading for Andre using Twin Flame Ascension deck here. Want me to use guidebook? Acknowledge, take responsibility. You are on Twin Flame journey for the entire lifetime. And you also have a feel past lifetime as well, Andre. You have to acknowledge this journey. It makes you a spiritual worker. If you want to call yourself a light worker, yeah, so be it. You are here to learn about your darkness. Not only this lifetime, but you're here to heal your darkness as well. And that's what's so special about this Twin Flame journey. Why? Because you need to get back your unconditional love. And that's how you ignite your light at your soul levels. Because the human ancestor have destroyed or damaged this unconditional love, also called light, at your soul level. All those dark influences. I think you know that, Andre, because you've been experiencing them all your lifetime from your family, from your human family tree, from all those interaction in this dark society. What is this darkness? It's all coming from negative emotions. I know you know what they are. Fear-based living causes people to trap in their own darkness. Are you aware of that? Your guardians say not only acknowledge it, but you got to take responsibility for your own self, the way how you feel, the way you choose to reinforce those negative emotions for yourself. Just because you keep experiencing them over and over again. You have the free will to choose. Are you courageous enough to take that light path, to choose the light side of that, from that negative emotion that you've been triggering over and over? Do you have determination to do something positive about that? Or do you just easily give up and go back to that old pattern again? Now, that is your choice, right? That's what taking responsibility is about. So you don't need to victimize yourself anymore, no matter what have happened to you. Doesn't matter how unpleasant they make you feel. And I'm talking about feelings here. No negative feelings are permanent. Only you choose to let them stay. Only you choose to let them attach to your soul. Forever damage that soul. Light. You were once born with that light. I'm talking about your soul birth. I'm not talking about your physical birth. I'm not talking about your reincarnation in another physical body. I'm talking about your soul, Andre. You only have one soul despite you have experienced a couple lifetimes already on earth. And with your twin flame, your guardian said, everything is in divine order. There's a thing called divine timing. Perhaps being here, getting reading from me, it's divine timing for you to understand something that you haven't acknowledged, something that you didn't know about before. It wants you to embrace this divine timing. And I'm taking you out of this false belief that this 3D matrix is trapping you in. A lot of false belief from human creation. There are a lot of artificial things also created by humans. Where's that coming from? Standard, culture, value, norms. You know how people from one generation changing culture to the next generation, they don't value the same thing anymore. You know, it's keep evolving. If you go back to the history, in human history that has written already, nothing stay the same. So why get yourself trapped into those, whatever standard value they created, culture that they created, keep evolving. So basically your guardian said those are garbage, those are clutters, those are noise to influence you, to trap you into those darkness. So it's up to you to identify each one of them and work on that, Andre. So I hope you see the point here. So patient, practice. What are you practicing? Do you have the patience? Sometimes too much, your guardian said. Perhaps you wait too long for something to happen. Perhaps you sit on it and didn't do anything when you're supposed to do something. So what are you trying to practice here? I think it's a trigger question for you to reflect on. Are you practicing something, some sort of value, some sort of standard that you're still attaching to, that you still need to free yourself from that limitations? The key word your guardian want me to give you is be flexible when you're on this twin flame path, when it is a type of healing journey for you to embrace, but you need to be flexible. Don't allow yourself to be stagnant. Don't allow yourself to stuck in that standard or so-called norms, right? Another norms. Sometimes you might remove a norms and then not realizing you're creating another norm for yourself because you're using a norm to substitute another norms and you're not realizing that too. And that happens. But this is something for you to go back to reflect on how you did it, what it is that you still replace it with, to attach yourself to and not able to totally heal, to release that particular negativity. This causes awareness, crystal clear visions. The more inner awareness that you have, the better you're going to be, the more clarity will come to you. And I feel like it takes divine timing here. It takes the right trigger, the right life event for you to see the truth of what happened to you as of today, or what have you done in the past. You do have a spirit guide. You have 2 spirit guides. Your guardian want me to tell you that. Perhaps you already have in touch with them. Perhaps you're not realizing. They're always with you, Andre, throughout this twin flame journey. Perhaps you miss some signs. A few, sometimes a few, sometimes some of them. Sometimes you misinterpret them, misinterpret those signs. He has number signs. Do you want me to go over those number signs with him? 7. 3 first. If you see number sign 3, focus on yourself. You need to shift your focus on yourself, your inner self, because you're in the cycle of emotional trigger that you need to release immediately. Do not sit on it. Perhaps you're too patient, calming. He's been calming himself, being too patient, so therefore he missed the chance. He missed some of those chances of releasing those negative emotions. He's aware of those triggers, but somehow his patience is too much, causing him to be still and unable to take advantage of that. So he need to dive deeper to be aware of what he's doing. He might have, so that means he might not be releasing those negative emotion he's supposed to. But there's a tiny fraction that you work on it, but not enough, because those opportunity that you had, you didn't maximize the advantage of that to help you release those negative emotions. But it caused a tiny little fractions. Okay, I think that you need I feel like you need to let go of the word patient. Patient, it's not a good feeling to have. Neither do you need to be aggressive, the opposite of patient, perhaps. So you don't need any of those. I hope that you can translate patient into a negative emotion. Aggression can be translated into a negative emotions. So you don't need to attach any one of them. Can you help yourself to work on that? And that's the culprit about being a human being, because they tend to think emotions are normal. They just don't realize that we're not supposed to have emotions. It is hard for you to understand right now, but eventually you will get there, Andre. But have you here to your guardian want me to take you out of false belief, some little false belief, okay? So you don't have to stop being patient. Neither do you need to be aggressive. Those are just emotion that you don't even need. You can work on releasing them, so that way you can improve your inner awareness of how you are missing out those opportunities to release that certain specific negative emotions. Fear is one of them. Victimization is one of them. I think I talked about in previous readings. Rejection, causing you to have it robbing your self-esteem, because it's also come from comparisons. It just want me to repeat it. They want me to repeat it for you so you can work on them. I mean, it's okay to write them down. I mean, even when I go for my twin flame healings, sometimes I write down my own emotion. What is that I'm working on? What kind of cycle I'm in right now that I need to work on, just to remind myself, just in case I forget about that. At least I can go back and look at my computers, okay? That's the type of cycle that I'm in. And I'm new work on those negative emotions to release, okay, to help yourself, if that's going to help you. But that's one of my just a suggestion based on my experience. I'm a trained femme as well. So, and anything else for this awareness? So he has strong awareness, but then he just doesn't understand the connection and how he has misinterpreted that because of what he's been practicing. Let me grab this card here. Reprogram your soul, release, wise, reclaim. Yeah, it's just all those dark influences have been programming you to get you stuck in false belief. And yeah, we're living in 3D matrix, three-dimensional matrix, all created by the human being, using culture to trap peoples, cause us to have saturation, cause us not to look at all the humans in this entire world. It's just one human race. They use culture, color, language, social status, and superstitions. Those belief, right? Superstitious belief to cause us to subjugate. Doesn't matter where we live in this entire world, and yeah, to cause us to trap into our own darkness. Why we judge each other for that kind of reason? Judgment is a culprit. It stops us from discerning the difference between dark and light. We just continue to judge people based on the way they look, where they come from, their background, and so forth. We have hard time embracing people to understand. Each one of us can serve each other a catalyst to trigger negative emotion out of us. Just because you don't think you do evil thing, or other people go kill people, they rob people for their own personal gain, so therefore they're evils. But we're not realizing, hey, these people are just having darkness. We tend to use good and evil to classify people, but what about light and darkness? Why can't we just do that and see them, right? They're just having darkness. Why can we just not embrace those individuals as well on the extreme side to understand from their point of view? Why can we just not look at ourselves that we are actually the contributor to encourage more darkness in each other's? Some people didn't take it so well, they went to the extreme. So I hope you see the point about here, why we need to look at how our soul being reprogrammed from the egoistic standpoint, from the consciousness standpoint, and then also the subconscious standpoint is coming from your past life as well. If you have gone through some awakening, yes, from your past life, from your subconsciousness as well already, your guardians already affirmed that through this reading here just now. So you have past life coming through that you need to heal. Those are extra intense feeling as well. Is there anything else? Yeah, if you feel like you need a past life reading, then just go ahead and whenever you have a higher calling for it, for what reason your guardians want me to tell you this, to help you understand how is it tied back to your current lifetime. Release take little efforts from a day to day. Wherever you're being triggered, doesn't have to be a human to human interaction. Sometimes even getting information, stuff that you read, things that you hear on the TV as well, and so forth. Mostly through computers he's using. Too much research. I don't know why bookworms come to me. Maybe you like to study things. perhaps studying too much from that regard, and they don't really speak the truth. Those are all human creations. I'm not saying not all of them are not true, but then they are tainted by false belief, people attitude, people values. So therefore all of that kind of all so therefore they are just kind of trapped into the truth, mutilated by the false stuff as well, so they never really give you the whole truth. So I hope that's something you need to watch out for, Andre. Why study them when you already have the answer within you? You need to trust your insight a lot more. You need to trust your higher self. You need to trust your intuitive ability. In fact, your guardians want me to come from you have psychic, very specific psychic ability. Do you want me to tell him, or it needs to be withhold? Withhold it? Not allowed to disclose. Everything is at divine timing. Anything else on that? Yes, your insight. All you need to do is seek from your inside. You don't even need to ask. If you're still, if you're able to ground yourself. Oh, he's excellent at grounding. Too much grounding. That's what causing the patient to come through and not realizing it. Too calm. So it's hard for those negative emotions to come out on the surface for you to work on. It's more like you need to feel. You need to activate this intuitive feeling, the sensation of your emotion. Then you can actually understand what you need to work on. Like ASAP immediately. Don't sit on it. Oh, okay. Clairvoyant. Is all clarion audience as well. Clarion audience coming from seeing. I mean hearing. Clarion audience is hearing. Clairvoyant is seeing. Seeing or. He is empathic as well. And makes you extra sensitive. You still need to discern what is yours and what is somebody else. You still need to work on a healthier boundaries to separate that, to strengthen your abilities. Anything else I need to tell Andre here? Wise above the norms. Wise above the ordinary humans. Do not attach to prize, being proud, having special privilege. Those are all come from negativities. Having such gift, don't get yourself into those negative feelings. When you're having those feelings, time to let them go, Andre. Those are the I call them inner work. Inner words, when you start letting go your negative emotion that you're aware of. But I just mentioned 3 of those that you do need to work on. Okay, you want me to jump right into twin flame journey? What's going on? The other twin flame? You two are marrying each other's. He is do you want me to mention what You don't want me to talk about that? Can you focus on your breathing, Andre, so that way you're not manifesting anything or asking something? Can you let that go? Just allow your guardian to speak. Just focus on your breathing. What is this you want me to tell Andre? Oh, he's the one asking about it. Is he allowed to know? He knows it. He's under false belief. He want me to talk about titles, identity. Andre, identity is another culprit. Title is another culprit. They reinforce negativities in you. Are you aware of that, Andre? I know the question that you're asking, but your guardians, your spirit guides have a high intention for that. Do you feel why you have those questions? Do you understand the underlying reason why you have those questions? That's the inner awareness that you're missing in order to have true clarity. You already know your higher purpose is healing. That's how you undo all those darkness to find your own authentic version of you. When you're under dark influence, you will never know who is really Andre. It takes time, take decades, lifetime after lifetime to realize how much you need to heal. Don't get disheartened by the timing. Why it takes so long? You know all of that. Perhaps you're overthinking too much. Perhaps you're using your mind too much. And you're not focusing on your higher self, your soul. And that's all what really matters. You need to learn to further surrender yourself to this greater purpose, to this higher purpose. The more you surrender yourself, the more you will accept divine timing. That you don't even need to ask. You just go with the flow of this twin flame journey. One day you will see an even bigger picture than where you are right now. Your guardian understand you a lot. They know, not that they don't. Even the one that you don't and they know. And I feel like your connection with them still weak. The communication part, how you decipher those spiritual signs. Yeah, I mentioned the number 3. Do you want me to mention anything else for him? The spiritual sign? Feather is a cycle for him. Is there a specific cycle about inner world cycle? Okay. You're on inner world cycle or complete. When he see a feather, doesn't matter where the feather is coming from a bird that you see, goose down pillow, you find a piece of feather somewhere. It doesn't have to be a real one. I mean, virtual one. It's it still count. It's considered you have just complete a cycle. That's what it means for you. Or when you see a number 10, that means it's end of a cycle for you. Is there anything else? Number signs. 0. If you see a 0, at the end of a group numbers? Hmm. He's the one asking it? Hmm. Andre, I need you to let that go about asking. If your spirit guides want you to know, it will come through in this readings. So it's something not meant for you to know. It's gonna stop me from telling you. So you need to surrender, 100%. Zero. Is there a specific meaning for that? None. His false belief, his doubt, or his curiosity. He think there's something, but when there's not. So it's another misinterpretation. So it's really number 10. And anything else? 7. It's an affirmation that he's on a spiritual path. That you're still on spiritual path. You want me to explain why he needs to see a 7? Because he has doubt. He is triggered by suspicions. He is triggered by a lot of things, like insecurity. You could be triggered by self-esteem issue, lacking the confidence. Oh, those type of things, Andre, make you want to study, using your brain to study, not using your higher self, the intuitive side of you. I hope you see what those negative feelings can cause you to shift your focus on the outside, not shift your focus on the inside. You think that you can find answer in this human creation, but you're not going to get the truth out of that. Everybody's under so much false belief. Why do you need to get information on the outside? Sure, you might find something, but they're not going to speak the whole truth here. So you need to surrender to this twin flame journey. You need to strengthen your connection with your spirit guides. Your spirit guide knows the truth about everything. And your higher selves know the truth also, but you just forgotten about that. Doesn't mean your soul level doesn't know. Remember, your spirit guides have been there since your soul birth. I'm not talking about how many lifetime you live on earth here. I'm talking about your soul level knows your spirit guides. Yeah, 2 spirit guides. I'm trying to use the S at the end. They try to correct me, okay? Not to leave one of the other one out. So it is a safe journey for you, no matter what happens. You know, but other people's when they figured out, oh, I have a spirit guides, they treat them like a wishing well. Don't do that. I just want to mention they're not here to make you feel good. They are not here to make your life easy. It's not about that. It's about healing, to see. And that's what twin flame journey is about, to return back to your light, to return back to being the love being that you're supposed to be, that unconditional love that I've been talking about, the light compassion, the forgiveness. And that's what this world is missing in everybody. And you are the leader. You are one of the leader in this regard. When you heal yourself, when you become this light, there is one last thought being on this earth. Do you see how much contribution that you are doing to this dark world? There are quite a bit of twin fam out there. Some of them reject this journey. Some people refuse to be awakened like you. And you're giving hope to the future generation of this human race with this healing, with this unconditional love. You can ignite the light in this dark world. Anything else that Andre needs to know about the twin flame counterpart is a she. She is on this journey as well, in separations. For some time, for a long time, there's going to be reunion or union? Union. So he never met his twin flame. He think that he knows his twin flame, but then that is his imagination, because his empathic nature caused him to suck into feelings that is not fabricated feelings, somebody else's feeling. He's mixing other people's feelings into his feelings, and it start to intensify those feelings to give him this false ideas of, oh, to give you some false twin flame. And that's not even, yeah, so he never met his twin flame. Everything is at divine timing. It's not something for me to tell you unless your spirit guides say, yeah, it's time for you to know, time for you to be somewhere. Do you want me to tell him? That is his question. He's asking again. No, Andre, you need to surrender 100%. Let that go. It is not about the other twin flame. It is not about love from someone else. It is about giving the love from yourself to yourself. It is about you, Andre. Are you loving yourself? Are you becoming this love being? That's what this twin flame journey is about. It's not about the other twin flame. Oh, when is she's gonna come? Who is she? Can I get some information about her? It is not about her. Remember the higher purpose. You already live a few lifetime with your twin flame. Why do you even need to be focused on that again on this lifetime? Do you understand the higher purpose of healing? Do you understand that why you need to be being this love being to light up this dark world? You gotta have this bigger picture. It is not about personal benefit anymore. If you only see from personal benefits, that means you're still having personal desires. You need to go back and reflect on those desires. Are they serving your greatest good? Or are you stuck into the attachment of negativities, privilege, status, not realizing how they are influencing you to get stuck in those attachments, to cause you to limit yourself, not able to see bigger pictures when you don't even need to study. All you need to do is study yourself. Study your inside, study your inner world, study your emotions, study how you draw boundaries. You're still having unhealthy boundaries. When you start letting all those things go, simultaneously, you're building stronger connection with your spirit guides. When you let yourself to surrender to this spiritual journey, to this twin flame journey at 100%, you're opening up the communication with your spirit guide, because you understand divine timing. You understand you cannot anticipate the future. Anticipation is another negativity to trap you into attachment. What is there to anticipate? Fear-based living causes you to anticipate. What can you do to turn that into love-based living? What kind of language are you practicing? You still practicing fear, protections, insecurity, all that, causing you to have lower self-esteem, not able to love yourself unconditionally. Just remember that, Andre. Is there anything else I need to tell him here? And I'm going to end here. I hope this will help you. May you find light from the spirit guides. Introspection, waiting for Mandi, using the Akashic Tarot here. I have the Queen of Key here. Let me go to the guidebook and see how it interprets for you. I'm able to find the pages. So see forces. I need to go to the key. Want me to do up, white, or reverse? Why is there confusion here? Happy, sometimes not happy. That's Mandi's life in general in this lifetime so far. There were happy moments, there were sad moments. That's called sad moments. You want me to say tears? Sure, she cried. Certain specific life situation, life events make her cry. That's what your guardian said. Why do you have negative feelings? Why do you have happy feelings? I think that's the intention of this introspection for you to reflect on your emotions. Why do you feel angry? Why do you have those negative feelings? Even those happy feelings, that so-called positive feelings, why do you have those positive feelings? Do those positive feelings last until you get to a specific life situation that makes you have negative emotions, negative feelings? It's like never ending. Like your feelings are not consistent. Another word, right? You have up and downs. It's not stable. If something happened on the outside, whatever that life situation, it will trigger you certain specific emotions. So that's something that you need to introspect in your life. Do you see that pattern, how your emotion can be so codependent by some stimulation in your life events? It doesn't matter if it's a thing or person or you're in certain environment can trigger you that. Perhaps you might feel relaxed when you're in different environment. So that's the whole point your guardian is trying to say, but you're not connecting how this environment, person, or thing could trigger you specific emotions. And are you picking up that pattern yet? Is there anything else I need to say about this? Got to end this first reading for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Journal reading using the Enchanted Map oracle here. Let me lay out the cards. First one is the bone collector. Let me go to the guidebook. Well, this is like a statement here on this guidebook. You are whole and have everything you need within. But if you read the opposite of that, that is your current phase of your life right now, that you're not whole, you're fragmented. And you're supposed to have everything you need, but it's not too pure to get what you need from the inside. So upright, reverse. The past has a way of repeating itself when you have not learned the lesson of the original situations. And I feel like it's tied to the first reading, you're not reflecting on your feelings, not catching the old patterns. To go back to your original situation, you are faced with this now and the futures. Yes, this is challenging for you to see your true self, your true emotions are stimulated by all those things that I mentioned earlier. So causing you to fragment yourself, not to be whole. Why is that? Because certain emotions are not serving your greatest good. They do rob your health. I'm not just talking about physical health, like fatigue. You can have emotional fatigue. You can have emotional breakdown. You can have anxiety, not taking care of your heart and your soul. And also your mind. When you use your mind to judge things and people, situations that come from negativities. I hope you're understanding when you do that, you're engaging yourself in negative energy. Yeah, it could be quite tiring, right? Negative energy just sink you. It feels heavy. Even cause you to have nerve-wracking feeling. Not dealing with those emotions that you're having. You cannot just cope with it and move on, or engaging in feel-good activities and move on, because you choose to practice those negativities. So therefore, how can you just move on? You're waiting for another stimulator to trigger those negativity that you're still holding on to them, and you still agree to practice them. So therefore, you can never move on, and you will continue get triggered by them now and in the future. And that's the whole entire message about this bone collector. You're collecting all this, skeleton about your past, causing all this heaviness, causing all this attachment, causing you to have limitation and not understanding how you can improve your well-being. Card number 54, encouragement. You are receiving a nudge in the right direction. That's the title of this card. You have been receiving nudges in the right direction, but you choose to dismiss them because you don't consider them as spiritual sign from above. You don't consider them, from above, from your spirit guide, being trying to nudge you to the right directions. Are you aware of that? Or are you just too busy living your physical perspective of life that you have forgotten about those spiritual signs do exist? Perhaps you haven't awakened your soul at the spiritual level yet. And I'm not talking about believing in religion is adequate. You can have a lot of belief in this lifetime, but does not mean they serve your greatest good when you're not willing to awaken your soul to a deeper level to understand what's going on in your inner world. Something do happen every day in your inner world. Do you even understand how you could cause turmoil inside? Or do you just wait until something severe and then to try to figure out what's wrong with you? a misstep or even making a mistake is not the end of the world. You're falling yourself into a false courage. Let me use the term discouragement, okay? You are falling into the trap of discouraging yourself. Cause you to not see the direction you're supposed to take. Discouragement is a negative feeling. You practice it, you reinforcing yourself to be discouraged by people, by situation, by thing. Maybe you get rejected somehow. Somebody telling you no, or you didn't get it. You try so hard to achieve something and you didn't get it. At the end results, so discouraging. Closing your heart. Maybe even lower your self-love, lower your self-love, lower your self-esteem, lower your what's so-called confidence, however you want to put that. It's time to wake up your spirit self to listen to your intuitions. That is your soul language. Your soul is not feeling well. Are you aware of that? When it's not feeling well, it wants to tell you something. Not for words, perhaps for that special sixth sense. But are you too busy with your life situations, taking care of the day-to-day, to feed your physical body, to survive, because you need to earn and pay bills, and so forth? Do you see how you could move away from your own soul just to take care of your body first above anything else? This isn't another routine patterns. I'm not saying that it isn't good to take care of your body. You do need to sleep. You do need to eat. You need to clean it. You need exercise and so forth. But that's the fundamental basic to maintain this body. But beyond that, are you doing anything else for your soul, for your heart, and your mind? Yeah, but if you go extreme on your body and not able to find the right balance, then you're discouraging yourself to look at different perspective of life from the mind, heart, and soul perspective, okay? So how are you integrating those three things with your body? So everything you do from now on, you should integrating all aspects of your life before you even make decisions. How any of that life events are serving your greatest good, how any of those choices that you make are serving your greatest good. And moving on to this talisman. And the last one is the compass. Just want to let you see the visuals, okay? 49. A lesson truly learned is crystallized as earned wisdom. You have all you need for the success you seek. So, like to really reflect on your current situation, you haven't really learned your soul lessons, the lessons that you really need to learn in order to earn the wisdom that you need to help you navigate life. Well, wisdom is not just about life experiences. It's not just about studying something to increase your intelligence. It isn't about expand your knowledge in this physical form of life, in this society. Those type of knowledge is just things, technology maybe, scientific things. Does not make you a wise person. You can make decision because of some type of influences to harm yourself, to not make yourself feel any better, to trap you to hold on to all those negativities. So if you're seeking, continue to seek those things, it's not really successful. It depends on how you define abundance. If materialism become your focus point in this lifetime as an abundance, you're missing out a lot about your heart, soul, and mind wellness. So again, you need to learn to incorporate all aspects of your life to live, to make decisions, to define your value, your life values, your life standard. Perhaps you're not drawing healthy boundaries, that it needs to be questioned, it needs to be reflected on. So this is another a warning. How well are you aware of your repetitive pattern in your life? You keep processing life the same way, you keep reacting life the same way. Are you aware of those with repetition that you put on yourself, so-called old patterns? Are they serving your greatest good? If not, time to change your perception in order to have a different perspective of life. Again, incorporate all aspects of your life. Don't just narrow it down to the physical perspective of life. So you're facing important choices here. What directions are you willing to take? You shouldn't be rushed into it because of immediate gratifications. Why not freeze that immediate gratifications? Hold on to that and reflect on that. Perhaps they're not serving your greatest good. Perhaps those gratifications are limiting you, unable to grow and expand, to learn beyond than what you are studying, what you're taught to study in this society. Wisdom is not coming from book. Wisdom is not coming from people interaction. Wisdom is not coming from just work, tasks, jobs, whatever that you are doing in your everyday life. But let me move on to the last card for you, 50, the compass. As long as you orient your compass to truth, not the direction of your higher power, you will never be lost. The true north is like a north node in astrology, is to discover yourself, to open up yourself to the unknown, to understand who is Mandi, what is authentic to you. Now, you gotta be careful when you're under so much influences by the way you grew up. People give you false belief, false hope, and you can observe that too. They don't have to directly tell you that. Culture, superstitions. People say, oh, that's your character. Is it really true? Or you just got reinforced by that character? Perhaps through school education system, perhaps through interaction with specific people that you prefer. Sometimes you might encounter people that you don't prefer to cause you to have those influences that are unfavorable to your greatest good. So you need to watch out all those negativities, how they are being enforced in your day-to-day life to make you move away from your authentic self. The more you're lost, the more you're doubting yourself, the more you're hesitating, the more that I feel like it puts you down because you're lost in this direction in life. You're in a different direction on this compass. Maybe you're doing the opposite of what's supposed to serve your greatest good. So watch out for that, those negative feelings coming through you, even anxiety. For some reason, perhaps you're nervous Perhaps you have anxiety in front of a group. You have hard time speaking up the truth to stand up for yourself because you're not drawing the right boundary using love, using the universal love, or you can call it unconditional love. If you understand how you're conditioning your life, you will be much better off. You can see the true north, the spiritual sign that I mentioned, that you're missing out. So it is time to surrender your ego. It is time to awake your spirit self, to shift the directions that you so need, to see what you can do to turn all those negativity into a positive experiences in your life, to improve your overall well-being. Anything else I need to tell Mandi here? God, to end here, may you find light from your spiritual guardian. Divine waiting for Bridget from the Oracle of Mystical Moment here. Night and day to the moon and back. Liberty, I have sea, wish, and key on trees here at the bottom. Let me go to the guidebook here. Night and day. The moon is here, and this lady is holding the sun at the bottom. Fear, worry, making wrong decisions perhaps, instead of trusting your intuitive abilities. I feel like your uncertainty is caused by your negative emotions. Are you taking advantage of that when you're being triggered by your negative emotion to release them? That caused you this uncertainty. Your inward processing every day, reacting to your day-to-day life. And I feel like you know that, Bridget. I feel like you have gift and you know that too. But you shouldn't be doing shadow work and you should be doing inner work, and you know that too. So you're choosing something to seek on the outside to help yourself instead of choosing your inside to help yourself. So you basically need to do the opposite, Bridget, to help yourself. I feel like you're still attaching to the physical perspective of life. And you know you don't have to take that a priority. I'm not saying that you should neglect your basic body that needed to eat, sleep, go to restroom, do hygiene, all of that basic stuff. But are you too focused on your physical perspective of life beyond those fundamental basics to take care of your body? I think you need to ask yourself that. Perhaps you're still too interactive. I'm not saying you shouldn't interact with people, but I'm just saying that that emotional attachment is really going to suck your attention into that perspective of life. And it's so hard to turn it off when you're engaging in that kind of emotions. I hope you see how emotion can motivate you to just do that and don't know how to turn it off and focus on that spiritual side of life. So that triggering all this doubting decisions, worry, fear, uncertainty in you. So should I move on to the next card? liberty. To the moon and back. I feel like you're still not sure how to free yourself, but not that you don't understand about your emotions, but how do you free yourself from them? Perhaps you just have an idea about letting go, transforming yourself, releasing them. It kind of form an idea in your mindset of how to do that. Maybe you're thinking about too much of doing that, but just don't know do it in a natural way of doing it, to go within, to just feel that emotions and then release that emotions. Perhaps you're complicating the process of releasing your emotion that is not serving your greatest good. I feel like you're complicating the process. Perhaps your mind says, say, oh, it's complicated. Do you see how you're manifesting complication when releasing it is not complicated? Perhaps you're still judging, not discerning. You're judging through it's complicated, so therefore you make things complicated when it's not. I hope you see your mind, it's your culprits, the way you think things in a negative way, causing the complication. It's not really the light event, not the situation, not the persons are complicated. So it is all self-inflicted. You're trapping yourself, not able to free yourself from those attachments, and it's not able to free yourself from the burden that you create through negativities. Negativities does not just have to be negative emotions. Thinking negatively could be a type of negativity that you need to release. Sometimes value can create negativity. Sometimes norms can create negativities. Sometimes, like you're being reinforced by certain behavior, is also a type of negativity. That reinforcement, I feel like, come from family. Maybe you observe, maybe you're mimicking somebody in that household to cause you to think negativity. I hope that it's like I can tell you this, but you're gonna have to reflect on the way you grow up. Who are you trying to mimic? I don't know why TV comes to me. You watch TV when you're young. Do you mimic something, or did somebody point out something to you? Oh, I enjoy this character. It's funny, or something, or scary. Something about ghosts. She afraid of ghosts? Once up on the time, that's something to I'm just picking up to your spiritual guardian. Maybe you're afraid of ghosts or something, some sort of a spiritual possession or something. Maybe when you're young or something. So that's something that you need to reflect on as well. You know, it's just spirit. That's how our soul are. And when we leave our body, yeah, it turns into spirit. Sure, you might call them ghosts or something, not that they don't exist. Yeah, they do exist. But what is there to afraid of them just because they're still practicing darkness, negative emotions? So therefore, I'm not saying there are no evil spirit because they choose the extreme side of it because they continue to practicing negative emotion and intensify that because they choose to enforce them. So as long as you don't choose to enforce them, then you don't turn to this extreme, so-called evilness. I'm just giving an example here. So that way to help you understand how to how do you gonna reflect on that, So you have to dive deeper into what that is. Nothing is permanent, belief system, it's not a permanent thing. I hope you can understand. You can transform your belief. You can transform your emotions, but you just have to find the proper way of doing that. You're not conditioning the transformation. You can actually substitute. When you do substitute, like codependent on something to transform yourself, yeah, you can remove that particular one that you identify, but at the same time, you substitute another negativity to replace another negativity. That is something to watch out for, okay? Let me jump on to... Oh, I'm sorry, I just did the number 2 card instead of 51. Why am I doing it backward? Why did I jump the card? Excuse me. But I just talk about this Liberty card here. But let me go to the moon and the back. Desire, wishes, longing. Longing for something in the distance. It's talk about desires. You have desire for a situation. Maybe you want to change the situation in the past. Perhaps you want to... What does it change? Desire? No, you have desire for someone. You want to change the past situations. Whatever that you've been encountering in the past, she's still longing for her twin flame. But yeah, I did remember not long ago, right? I did some couple reading for you. And I feel like, you know, if you're holding on to loving someone too strongly, you're not able to focus on the inner work you're supposed to do, Bridget. You're supposed to let him go. Are you aware of that? And if you don't let him go, you will never able to love yourself, because you're using him, this desire to have love, to feel love. But that is not coming from self-love. You might think that you do, but then you're incorporating a lot of things like conditioning from the physical perspective of life to love yourself, but that's not love. You still attaching to that too strongly, unable to detach from that. When you have to surrender to this twin flame journey, you have to do it at 100%, not 99% of it. If you leave 1% of this type of codependency, yeah, it's not about walking away. If you happen to meet him, if he happen to call you, having conversation, that is fine, Bridget. I'm not saying to totally not to talk to him. What I'm trying to say is your emotional side, your energetic side needs to be walking away. I hope you understand the physical living cannot be avoided. If you happen to run into him to be in the same grocery shop shopping, hey, that's divine destiny. You cannot avoid that. You cannot avoid having interactions, right? Doesn't matter who that is. Maybe it's not bad. Maybe you're meeting a new stranger. Maybe you're recounted with an old friend, or maybe running to a neighbor. You cannot avoid it. But you're holding on to Bob at an emotional level and the energetic level that create, oh, I still have feeling for him. I still long for him. That kind of feeling is trapping you into attaching to conditioning to love someone. When someone dies, the loved one that you care about, why people grieve, why do they cry, why can they just not heal this pain? Because they're holding on to the possessiveness. They're holding on to this obsessiveness. They are holding on to the physical point of view in living. They don't know how to love spiritually anymore. Love shouldn't create all these negative feelings. A lasting, unconditional love requires nothingness just to do that. When you start having negative feeling triggering you to love this person, that means you're still conditioning life, perhaps in the physical sense, one of them. Perhaps you're still seeing in the possessiveness of a physical form of light, like a physical body. Perhaps you're still obsessed with this twin flame journey, the idea of twin flame journey, that where you're learning from about twin flame. This is an intense, yes. It is really the true love, yes. It is an idea, but then you miss out the purpose of being on this twin flame journey. It is about learning unconditional love that does not require anything, anyone, to have unconditional love, so-called practicing unconditional love, so-called being this unconditional love. So it takes a lot of phases, different level to transform yourself into unconditional love. I'm just doing it at a summary level. As long as you still long for this person, you're still chasing this person. I think I talked about why he's running and you're chasing, right? Briefly last time, because of this energetic sense, because of this emotion that you still have for him, you're chasing him, causing him to run and causing this intense emotion, because at the same time you're manifesting him through this intense feelings for him, but you're not loving yourself first, not taking yourself a priority. So I'm taking this extra care to explain to you so that you don't misinterpret about, if things happen in a physical sense, you have to embrace that. But at the same time, are you engaging this emotion and energy toward him as well? If you're doing that, that's causing the chasing and wanting thing to happen again. So I'm not saying just be mindful, but you need to have the inner awareness to understand that why you need to let go this personal desires. You need to rise above this idea of twin flame love. You need to rise above to understand that this is about healing your soul, your soul. It is about love unconditionally, no matter if this person maybe die one day as I don't know, I don't want to wish anything bad thing to anybody, but if this person die one day, are you gonna grieve, or are you still gonna love unconditionally at the spiritual levels? Okay, so that there's a difference between those two. Anything else I need to express here that I'm missing out? Okay, more me to move on to 52, see which. Bring out your innocent child to explore this lifetime. Yes, explore this lifetime. Only, I don't want to say being lonely, but aloneness. Explore this lifetime, only you, not having anybody, just you, Bridget. Doesn't matter where you go, doesn't matter what is your high calling now, doesn't matter what you do in your day-to-day life. Can you bring out your innocent child and explore everything that you're gonna encounter? You could be just waking up in your bed, and that's exploring your life by yourself. with your bed, with this environment? Can you do it in your innocent child with not having any past experiences that you have with your bed, with your womb, can you do it like just like that? I'm trying to find a way to express it. Can you guys help me out here? Yeah, fall freely. Don't attach to your womb. Don't attach to your living like a brand new day with nothingness. If you can just move forward with your life just like that. You know how people look at the bed and then assuming, oh, time to sleep. I need to close my eye. Some people look at the bed as like nightmare because they have so many dreams having nightmares. So that then every time they see the bed, they either being triggered by relaxation or they triggered by, oh, fear. Oh, I'm going to have a nightmare again because they keep associating their bed with some sort of past experiences that they are having. So your spirit guides want me to use that kind of example for you to help you understand. It does not want me to express specifically about your situation because you have different type of situations. So how you can just use past experiences to associate this physical item in your life. So that is something you need to watch out for because you're having emotional association with physical thing in this life. It's not just with Bob. You're just associating Bob as a dream fan, but you're associating your bed with like relaxation, a few time with nightmares, and then a few time with buds on your bed as well. So you see you have multiple situation going on associating your bed, your bedroom. So you have to let those, you know, experiences go so we can start fresh with your bed. Like in how a child can explore life without judgment because they haven't really experienced anything yet. They might, oh, I want to try this new things until they try, oh, why it tastes so bitter, why it's burned my tongue, because the pepper is so hot. So after that experience, oh, I have this negative feelings about this experience. I don't want to try it anymore. Did you see how you robbing your innocent child? So if you can bring out that innocent child and explore everything, doesn't matter how many times that you have done it in the past, just explore like this child have never done it before in that energetic sense. Then that's when your inner child is really coming out and not to judge anything at all. That is the intention of the spirit guide here. Let me move on to the last card. I already said enough on that. Key on trees. Believe in yourselves. Solution. You are your own solution. You can recreate the solution that you can have. You don't try not to use your mind because your mind tends to think negatively. Complication is one good example because you use negative, because you're judging, because you're thinking negatively, causing for you to result in negative, what do you call that, negative statement, using negative solutions, conclusion, using negative conclusions, not solution, excuse me. You're concluding things in a negative ways. So you need to watch out for that. Perhaps you're stuck in belief, stuck in standards, stuck in expectations, stuck in some sort of a value, like you're mimicking somebody negative statement in the past. I think your childhood has a very strong influence on you to think in a negative way, that you're still having hard time reflecting on them to release those, what do you call, mimicking? those type of negative behaviors. So it's up to you, Bridget, to go back to that and see what you can do to release it. The more that you release, the less that you're going to judge, okay? And the last that you will think in a negative way. I feel like you need to identify your negative statement to catch it. Oh, I'm doing it again. I need to rephrase this statement in a positive way, like using the term complication, and then you need to rephrase, oh, it is not a complicated situation the way that I think. There is a higher intention for me to learn here. I need to reflect on my negative emotion to see what that is. I feel like you're having emotional trigger, but not doing the necessary inner work to reflect on that. Even through your negative statement, there's a underlying negative emotion that you need to release. So do it immediately. Your spirit guide said, don't sit on it. Don't hold on to it. Like, and then move on to the next life events. Anything out on this? God to end here. May you find life from your spiritual guardian from this divine readings. Hush Tarot Journal reading for Toonie here. Let me see. First one. Page of Sword. This picture, it's giving me the impression of why is a mixed feeling here? Situations that are, I know it's unpleasant situations, but at the same time you are proving a point, arguing. Can you let go? To breathe, okay? Let go your emotions, okay? So that way I'm not stuck reading here. I feel like I'm picking up heaviness from you. Am I allowed to go to this card here? Let me block this nudity here, okay? It's a Queen of Swords. Let me see the card visual here. It's bearing your darkness. She's naked, totally naked, wearing a crow mask. Like she's not covering up her face. She's bearing her darkness. Like you're forcing your darkness out. I don't like to use the word force, but you're using your darkness in conversations. And then causing a lot of I'm seeing all of these wires on the birds and a little star, spiky star that can hurt, right? Like a cowboy boots with a little star. I mean, they're pretty sharp, like at the end of on the hills. That's what I'm getting from this, you know? Like try to trap somebody. Maybe you think you're smart enough to do that by win a point here and there through argument, fighting, whatever. I don't think it's physical fighting, but using your mind, sharp tongue. That's what I'm picking out. Yeah, you're unleashing your darkness in this. It's not coming from it's not coming from a good place, you know. It's not coming from love. So let me go to this Three of Card here. No, three of Sword, the third card here. What is this? Heartbreak. Why are you having heartbreak? Some sort of life situation trapped into heartbreak. Bitterness. Why do I feel like you can speak about that? The truth of this pain that you're having. You're stuck into results, certain outcomes, certain results. It's like an expectations. You're expecting certain results. Okay, this doesn't make sense here. Are you still trying to manifest something here? That's conflicting information to Tui. I feel like you're mixing something here. Your manifestation is not good. It's hard for me to read. When people start manifesting, they're engaging in their negative desires, and it's hard for me to get the truth out of here. You know, I don't read people this way. My reading has come from your spirit guide, but I don't think you want to connect with your spirit guide here. You're very stuck in your physical perspective of life. What is this? She's having heartbreak. She's having pain, but she doesn't want to heal. But I'm seeing this bird like a spiritual sign. Oh, okay. There's a spiritual sign. I'm seeing the bird sitting on this. To try to tell you that you need to lift your burden. You need to I don't like to use the word detach. I mean, you cannot just detach emotion. You cannot detach your past and move on because you're attaching a whole bunch of negative feelings into this. But there's like a spiritual sign for you, and then I feel like you don't want to walk this path because you're stuck in the spiritual perspective of life here. And then this Four of Swords. Yeah, this lady is resting on the soul, resting on the mind. This is a lot of soul here. This is like a mental space here. A lot of using the mind perspective, incorporating the physical aspect of life, but then there's lacking understanding of your own emotions, lacking understanding how you're engaging in certain negative energy through your negative emotions. And that's why you're unleashing your darkness into this work that you're doing in your day-to-day life. Because you're still not willing to heal your past wound. And it's quite exhausting. Your mind is quite exhausting because the motivation by your negative emotions causing your mind to be so exhausting. Don't you want to rest? Don't you want to have some peace and harmony in your space? Don't you want to have love? I'm not talking about feel-good moment in your life. If you're engaging in activity to make yourself to relax and feel good, and that's not really resting, you're temporarily diverting your negative emotions that you choose to practice them from the beginning and try to have that the moment of just turn it off, but eventually it's going to turn it back on. So you can't really engage in feel-good activity and just move on. Whether you're choosing that feel-good activities, right? This is a Two of Swords. There's a lot of sword in here, the mind thing. You're using your mind too much. You're not sensing your own feelings. This is like a face without eyes, and then the mouth is like it's already covered up by the soils. Not really sinking yet, but then it's already sink to some levels. You're too blind to see the truth. You're too blind by your own physical life situations. You don't see the higher purpose of why you're in those life situations. It's better that you talk less and reflect on your feelings, how your feelings are the motivator of your life decisions, how you conclude because of the feelings that you're holding on to are not serving your greatest good. I don't know, I'm seeing cats behind these visuals, 3 kitties. Like children's might be involved. I'm not sure how many kids. 2? Maybe you have 2 kids. I don't know if they're all humans or maybe animals, maybe humans, kids that you might be having involved in your life situations. Talking is not going to help you because she doesn't your conversation is not going to help you to reflect on your own negative emotions, how you are unleashing your darkness in your situation here. Another sword here, it's a 5 of sword. You're using those blades to chopping up your path, using your mind to make a new path for yourself. But I don't see this path is going to be any sunnier than your past. I feel like you're going to downward hills. I mean, all this garbage. I mean, I'm calling this. I mean, this is not a beautiful plant here. It's wilting. It's like it's not vibrant. Okay, the green on this plant that you think you are trying to achieve certain abundance in your life. You're still holding to your past situation and not willing to let them go. You're still fighting for a new path that it's going to only create more downward situation for you. So it's great. It's very great area in this regard. So is there any more? Because it's all coming from your negativities. And it's manifesting in many folds in your life. Is there anything else I need to tell? Chewy? I'm going to end it here for you. May you find life from your spiritual guardians. Reconciliation between Raquel and Martin. Okay, that's the questions here. Using the good tale and the lover oracle here for you. Got a king of air. Let me go to guidebook here. See what the king of air has to say in the guidebook. Truth is everything. I think before I act. Truth is everything. This is the only message here. Is there any affirmation statement I need to say about that? I work the universal law with clear intention. Do I see how the foundations of the past affect the present and future? So those are the statements that needs to be worked on toward that. That's what I'm getting here. But let me go to the full card here, enthusiasm. I know that a spiritual approach rarely appears logical and sometimes even seem impractical. However, when this card appears, I can take a risk and trust that with faith anything is possible. The invisible realms will reveal each step along the way. I am meant to experience this regardless of where I travel. This is the time when I'm learning that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to use this particular deck. It's written in an affirmation statement. I feel like this between you and him needs to know the truth. I think it has to do with the past. You and him, what happened in the past, what was the truth about the situation you and him were in. I think there's some confusion on your part and his part about the past. Something about the way you guys behaved before. Perhaps it's too much in the dark side that never really question about that. I'm not talking about you question his dark side, but you both need to question your own self about the dark path that were encouraged into the relationship in the past. Are you working toward the universal law? Are you working against the universal law? I'm picking up you guys are working against the universal law. You guys not understanding the energy that you both are engaging in to cause the what do you call that? Not to be in the light, is stuck in your own darkness. Universe does not take negative energy from your darkness to world. If you want to be aligned into the universe, I don't like you use the word universal law in this guidebook. It's more like aligned to your higher self. When you both align to your higher self, anything is possible in these reconciliations. And you both need to go back and to reflect about the foundations of the relationship in the past, how it has affected you as of today. I'm talking about you and him together. I mean, it's not like just one-sided. Really move forward. I mean, it's not so much about moving forward together. Right now, you guys in separations. But you have to work on your own foundation to make it right. It's like something that still needs to be mend. Something I'm not mending in the heart space. And that's what you guys are stuck at. And that full card enthusiasm, are you guys living in a spiritual approach? It does not have to make sense in a physical perspective of life, as long as you're taking the spiritual approach to your life. You have to have faith in this journey. Suggest you get a different reading, Raquel. I cannot do question over question because it's otherwise I cannot finish this reading because there's a lot of cards coming through, okay, from this. I haven't even read them yet. I'm just looking at this first two cards here and trying to explain things to you. So there's like a divine timing. And that's also about taking a light path. When you're not, and he's not taking a white path, nothing will work. Because there's a thing called energy alignment. When you're misaligned, because your energy, because the emotion that you're practicing, it does not align to your universe. The universe has been existent before the human race. The universe is all about universal love. It's there. That positivity, it's there. But then when your soul are not aligned to that kind of energy, it's never going to work out. So you both have to work on your own darkness. How are you releasing it? How are you healing it? If you're not willing to take that kind of path, and it's kind of hard to have a chance for reconciliations. But let me move on to the rest of the card and see where it's taking this this entire reading to. This is from the Lover Oracle. Twin flame, your passion ignites. I feel like you both are twin flame. you do know what twin flames are. Twin flames are two souls have the highest frequency match. No other souls are like that. There's only two souls are exactly like that. And it's like a universal gift. It's not a universal gift, it's a universe. It's a gift from universe. It's a divine blessing that you both are in this path since the entire lifetime. This entire lifetime, you guys have been on this twin flame journey forever. This is not even the first lifetime you both are having together. Time, you're trying too hard, give it time. So that's another message to you both. Trust, transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. I don't like the word automatically transform. It's up to you both to do the necessary inner work in order to do the personal growth, self-transformation. I don't know why it's automatically transformed. I think there's something needs to be let go. Instead of holding on to it so tightly, there's something that you both are not accepting in your life situations in order to really do the necessary transformation. I mean, this transformation, it's done naturally through whatever that it is, letting go, accepting something. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. This is a message to help you understand you cannot take all the materialism with you. It's basically nothing can be taken from this material world because your soul is spiritual by nature. You're having a physical life form here to experience life together. And you have to understand life from a spiritual perspective, from a soul perspective, another word. It has nothing to do with your physical body anymore. Are you both trying too hard to live a lifetime in this lifetime in a physical perspective of life and forget about your soul journey as well? At the spiritual levels, how are you guys taking your soul at priority? Are you guys too much to focus on how to take care of your body? Do you forget that you have other aspects of life such as your mind, heart, and soul? How are you both are integrating all those aspects of your life together? Every time you make decision, this is all about your physical body, but have you forgot about the other aspect of your life? Are those decisions also aligned to the well-being of those, your mind, heart, and soul as well? That needs to be questioned about those intentions. It does not come from unconditional love. If you both are still conditioning your life for this physical body, then you need to question why. How is that making you happy? Is this just an immediate gratification that you both are having? And ignore the emotional wellness, ignore the spiritual wellness, ignore your mind wellness as well. If you're engaging in judgment, you're having negative thoughts, that is going against the well-being of your mind as well. You got to think about that. How are you guys doing that every day to harm yourself and not integrating those aspects of your life? So I think that really answer your question, what is spiritual approach of life versus a physical perspective of life? That's a huge difference from there. Transformation, your relationship with one another is about to deepen, love, conquer, and transform all things. Something is happening in the future. I don't know the timeline of that. Perhaps you both are working on something. Perhaps there is a tower coming to trigger your life journey individually, whatever happening to you, whatever is happening to Martin, some transformations are destined to happen. So this is good, but making sure you're allowing compassion, forgiveness, and unconditional love in your heart. Don't close your heart wherever that transformation is about to happen. Soulmate, your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. Is this soulmate or twin flame? Multiple situation here. I feel like some of you are dealing with soulmate. This card is also talking about twin flame as well because of the limitation of this card. Soulmate. Am I allowed to talk about which side that is, or are you going to mix them all together? This is from Martin. For Martin. For Raquel. Okay, I cannot read this. Raquel, I think you need to breathe and let go and surrender. I cannot channel any further. Your guardians, I'm having a disconnection with your guardians. Perhaps you manifest something. Here, when you're manifesting, I cannot connect with your guardian to understand, to get more informations. Is there any am I allowed to elaborate? I need to release your energy. I have hard time connecting with it. You have some sort of desire, desperation coming through you. You have to learn to release your desperations and decide for Martins. Twin flame, it's not about desires. Okay, you and him have spiritual connections. Doesn't matter how much you are in separation. Doesn't matter what you guys are doing in your own life. This spiritual bond with twin flame never die. Even some people get tired of twin flame journey, want to cut the call. It never works. So you just have to accept the fact that this spiritual bonding is forever. And that's what this frequency match is all about. How can you not sync with this guy? This is a journey of learning unconditional love. Twin flame pairs are not necessary together. They have to do it separately to learn unconditional love. Things might happen to you, things do happen to him. Maybe you guys are learning through other relationships to understand more about you, and he has to do the same as well. If you don't have a catalyst to help you, to trigger you, how would you know what happened to Raquel, what happened to Martin, why you both are practicing darkness? What kind of darkness? Darkness is just a general term. It doesn't give you the specific. It needs a different reading for that, like a divine reading or a twin flame energy readings. And you cannot really manifest physically because you both need to understand how to ignite your unconditional love through self-love first. Without that, and that is the foundation of love, without that, and you're not going to become this love, how do you speak the love language? You have to become this love, then for you to talk this love language with each other. You don't want to use fear. You don't want to use insecurity. You don't want to use worry. You don't want to anticipate, because you both are your own creation. You guys are co-creating life with the universe. That's why you need to align to your higher self in order to align with the universe. This love frequency that I'm talking about, this love frequency is not come from lust. It's not come from disrespect. It's not come from anger. It's not come from fear. It's not come from hurry. All those things that I'm just talk about this, it's all come from negativities. So yeah, you can't even anticipate when is this going to be a reconciliation. The more you focus on yourself, the same he does for himself, and not think about each other's, to learn how to ignite, how to little by little to accumulate this unconditional love for deconditioning your life. Things automatically happen to you both. Why? Because you're so finally gaining back the vital energy that you so need through unconditional love. And guess what? That's what you're emitting, this positive energy to the universe. And that's where you're syncing with the universal love. Things will start happening, right? At defined timing about this reconciliation. So it is, to answer the question directly, is it possible to have reconciliation in this lifetime between Raquel and Martin? Depend. I'm not talking about timelines. Don't give me the timelines. Is it feasible? Yes. But it's not something you can ask for it. It's not something you can anticipate for it. Define timing, its meaning. Are you exercising your own free will to heal yourself? Is he doing the same as well? It has to be mutual. But I feel like you guys are marrying each other somehow. But I won't able to get into too much without a twin flame reading here. Is there any more I need to say about this? You got to enter here. May you find light from your spiritual guardians. Feeling for me reading, asking about how Lens feel about Allison. Love me not. My love light isn't really a priority at the moment. Don't take this personally, but my heart belongs to someone else. So I feel like Lens is interested in someone else. He doesn't take love as priority. I think he's more focused on career. That's what I'm getting here. So that's how he feels about Allison's. But there's your spiritual guardians want me to do additional card for you here. For you. 42 tree essence ancestry. It's about roots. Your roots is much deeper than you know or you thought. And there's some struggles in that roots. And your guardian want me to say you have some sort of a trauma. Is there anything else I need to emphasize here? You, but let me move on. But I feel like you're resisting it, that you don't want the additional message, Allison. I'm not too sure, but that's what your spirit guide want me to tell you. Like you want me to stop doing the reading. Let me jump into the next card here. harmony, interest, community. Do you want me to go on for Allison here? Do you want me to go on with this reading, Allison's? What do you want me to tell her about communities? This is weird. Is this even the right card? Is there a message for her about community in her community? Busy. Keep busy? Or she's keeping herself busy in the community. And it's hard for her to reflect back on her roots, her family roots. She needs to slow down. She needs to slow down in her community. Why is she keeping herself busy? Too much. She's avoiding her problem, her trauma in the past. Am I allowed to say what kind of trauma? There's some sort of emotional trauma you're having. Childhood? Started when? Childhood. It carried forward to your youth and adult as of today. It's too deep. But you know what that is. You cannot keep yourself busy and ignore this, your emotional well-being. That's for me. And your spiritual guardian is still refusing to tell me the point of this beside being keep busy. I think you're avoiding healing. Allison's life isn't about doing things. Sure, you go about your life, but then if you ignore the trauma that you have in your past since childhood, and it's not going to be too well for your overall well-being. You're going to end up getting emotional sickness, even physical sickness, driving yourself to the point of not being happy. So whatever you're feeling for Lent, I don't think this is the person for you. I think there's someone else in your life, in this lifetime. But is there anything else? Is there anything else I need to say for Allison here? Yes and no. I don't know why. But I'm going to have to end it here. May you find light from your spiritual guardians.